Ain't a damn thing pretty unless you're talking about the bridge and seaport. Even from the seats in the upper decks, you can see the seashore. Tailgate function with the carne asada. Just walk from the tribal building for the Padres. I'm on it. Yeah, cause for the 619, we'll knock you down. Anything for the Brown, put it on the town. Started back rocking the Brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Baby said she wanna go to the game. Taught her how to say Padre gang.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 244 of the Talking Friars podcast and YouTube show. I'm your host, Ben Fadden, here with Jacob Zimmermann, my cousin tonight. Padres, looks like they're facing Jacob deGrom tomorrow night. Let's go.
Yes,
Wow,
sir.
what
Yes,
a win.
Sir. I didn't think we were going to get off to a fast start like that. Jeez.
7-1, the Padres win. Max Scherzer got owned by this Padres offense. There were questions going into the game, whether or not the Padres would show up, whether the bottom of the lineup would show up. I thought, going into the pregame show, I was like, I think the home runs are going to decide it here. I think that's going to be huge. My Padre pick going into the game was Manny. He hit an absolute piss missile to left field. That ball was crushed. Profar with the bomb, Grisham with the bomb. I mean, anyone that was wondering why Trent was in the game, that's why. The power potential, the glove, there you go. I'm forgetting Josh Bell, big home run to the opposite field. I mean, what a night. You could not have scripted that night better. I mean, maybe Yu Darvish not give up a home run, but he was tremendous tonight. 7 innings, 1 run, no walks, struck out 4 guys. He got out a couple big jams, first and third. In the first, got out of that. Then in the second, there was Marte on third because Nola can't throw anyone out. He steals second, gets to third, and Darvish gets out of that. He was just tremendous. Did you see that curveball that he threw to GAGLIONE or whoever that was? That thing was nasty. I mean, it was like 5 inches more break than average on what a breaking ball gets. I mean, he was just tremendous tonight. The offense was pretty much tremendous tonight. Yeah, you could, pick it apart and say, well, I mean, Soto didn't do anything. He had that bad defensive play. Or, they didn't score after, what was it, like the 5th inning or something? They dropped 7 runs on Max Scherzer. You're telling me this team isn't confident going into tomorrow against deGrom, and they don't even need to beat deGrom tomorrow. That's how important today's game was, is that they don't have to beat their best guy tomorrow. And they can go to game 3 and you have Joe Musgrove on the mound against Chris Bassett. I'm going to take my chances with that.
I'm good with that, yeah.
They didn't have to use really any of their bullpen tonight. Robert Suarez, 1, 2, 3, 8th. Garcia pitched the 9th. That leaves them available for tomorrow if you want to go, for the throat. And you have Hader, you have Martinez, you have Morahone, you have all your Tim Hill. So many guys did not pitch today. It's just a win all around.
Yeah, I mean, I'd never in my life would have expected us to get 7 runs right off the bat, right off of Max Scherzer. And, I wouldn't have expected Josh Bell to, get that underway. But I think the MVP of this game goes to Yu Darvish for not only going 7 innings, but, also, as you said, saving the bullpen. We got all those guys ready for the next game. And, if needed, the third game. I mean, that's just, I feel like that's going to prove to be huge in case something happens, in case Blake Snell, maybe he has a bad game because, we've seen those sometimes.
The blow-up inning, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The bullpen's there, and it's not going to be tired. They're going to be all well-rested. That's the biggest part, I think.
Yeah. I mean, this Mets lineup tonight, I mean, Starling Marte was like the guy. I know Escobar homered, I believe. But Marte, the broadcast, and we'll get to the broadcast. Holy cow. Talk about writing the Mets. Did they realize the Mets were the ones getting crushed? I mean, they just kept talking about them. And what are they going to do? And they kept showing deGrom. It's like, can you show the spotlight on the Padres for a little bit here? Holy cow. But yeah, with this Mets lineup, they didn't do a whole lot today. I mean, and Yu Darvish was a big reason why. And obviously, Nola is very comfortable with Darvish. And I believe even Nola got a hit in this game. Tomorrow,
he did.
I know we're talking about this game plenty of time. We have plenty of time to talk about it, but I think Nola got a hit. the bottom of the lineup tonight, last 3 guys in the order, Kim, Grish, and Nola combined for 5 hits tonight. Grisham
Oh,
with a bomb. Kim had scored a run. Nola scored a run. Profar scored twice. By the
yeah.
way, his son, did you see his son?
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
pumped up. That
he
was
was happy,
amazing to
yeah.
see. Just you couldn't have scripted the night to be any better. I mean, and then the whole day really, like
Yeah.
the support, at the Ben and Wood show, and then showing up uh rest of the day at Alesmith, I think that's where it was, and then San Diego Sports 760. There were people showing up there for Darren and Marty, and then John and Jim. And then tonight, just out of the gate, it felt like, okay, Darvish, he got out of those jams, and
Yeah.
Darvish when he struggles, it's usually those first couple innings. I was saying it on the
Mhm.
pregame show, and he didn't do that really. Once he got out of those jams, like you could say he struggled because he got in those jams, but that was his level of struggling tonight. Sure, he gave up a home run, but I was taking 6 innings, 1 run from Darvish because
Oh,
I was
yeah.
confident in the bullpen tonight, and he goes 7 innings, 1 run.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little worried at first that, we were gonna have a typical bloodbath wild card game, going back to that Cardinals series a couple of years ago in the COVID year where we were just firing on all cylinders, except pitching. But
Right.
Yu Darvish got out of those big jams, and once he settles in, he retired. What was it, 10 in a row, 11 in a row,
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
something like that, yeah.
Um, he just settled in perfectly, and he was able to give us 7 very good innings.
Yeah.
Wasn't really expecting 7 innings. He had a career high in the playoffs, 7 innings, 101 pitches. It kind of just set the tone, and we never really looked back. So, had a great all around win. It was
I mean, I had a ton of notes written during this game, and Josh Bell entering the game, he was hitting 417 off of Max Scherzer. That's why he was
yeah,
playing. There were some
over
fans that
Drury.
were like, "Oh, why is Brandon Drury not in the game?" Well, Myers was hitting like 280 against Scherzer going in. Drury had 1 hit off of Scherzer in his career. Bell is like owned Scherzer, and then he hits a home run in his first at bat.
Yeah.
And Grish is in the lineup, left versus right. He has the power potential, and he takes him yard. I was
Mm-hmm.
so happy to see Grish go yard there. Just like
Oh
I was
yeah.
happy seeing him make that progress in that Giants series with those liners. I know he was striking out, but you saw the progress there. And I thought what was encouraging in this game, I mean, Crony's my guy, but he didn't do anything tonight, 0 for
Nah.
4. Soto, 0 for 4. That's 2 All-Stars on this team that went 0 for 8 tonight, and the Padres scored 7 runs. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm not focusing on Soto and Crony. I'm focusing on Profar and Grisham and Kim, the bottom of that Padres order. Manny, obviously. MVP, hello. I mean, I know you can't vote on it now, but I mean, he showed it tonight with that
Yep.
home run and just the team captain, obviously. Just it was a team effort tonight. And how do you think those MLB.com writers feel about listing the Padres pitching staff as last in the postseason
Oh, that
entering?
was
Last.
and then you have the starter for the game go 7 innings, and then the one for the Mets goes what was it? Not even 4, something like that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like,
Max Scherzer gets owned by the Padres. It's the first time in Mets history that they've allowed 4 home runs in a game. Scherzer became tonight the second pitcher in MLB history to allow 4+ home runs and 7+ runs in any playoff game. You know who the first one was?
I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I've never heard of this guy either. Gene Thompson in
oh wow,
1939 in the World Series. That was a
30.
great game. Remember that game? Amazing game against the Yankees. Love that game.
Back when I was younger, yeah. Way back
Yeah.
in the day.
Back in my day, man, he sucked tonight. He was not good
Yeah, it
tonight.
was not
And
good. No.
I thought it was funny that the Mets. You see the tweet? Max is locked in.
Locked
They
in,
tweeted
yeah.
that like during or before the game. He was sure locked in tonight. Holy
I'll take
cow.
that locked in all day. Yeah.
Man, it was locked in. It was Yu Darvish. It was Grish against
Uh-huh.
that meatballs that Scherzer was throwing tonight. Grish almost went yard for a second time tonight on that liner to right. By the way, yes, as we're expecting, the Mets, Jacob deGrom is starting tomorrow. Buck Showalter
Yep.
said they got to go to their emergency option. I
Mhm.
was fine. I mean, from the Mets perspective, I understood why they went with Scherzer game 1 and didn't go with DeGrom, and they were trying to save him, but that's bulletin board material. If I'm the Padres, oh, you don't think that you have to use Jacob DeGrom to
Oh
get
yeah.
past us, and you think you can just save him for the Dodgers series? Because that's what they're trying to do. I
Yeah.
don't think they were trying to pitch him for game 2. They thought they could win tonight and then win with Bassett and not even use DeGrom in this series. But
Nope.
guess what? No. You're going to have to face Blake Snell. You're going to have to throw DeGrom out there against Blake Snell, who's been one of the best pitchers in baseball this entire second half of the season. So
Yep.
the Padres could sweep the Mets here and move right on to Dodger Stadium and have Joe Musgrove starting game 1. And then maybe Clev game 2. And then Darvish, I don't know how many days off he would get there, but that's in a really, really good setup for the Padres right now.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I'm getting ahead of myself. And Jacob DeGrom, it's a tough task, but Max Scherzer is one of the best pitchers in baseball. And what did they do? They scored 7 runs off of the guy. DeGrom last outing against the Braves, he was leaving pitches over the middle of the plate all day, serving them right on a silver platter to these Braves hitters. He gave up like 3 bombs. So it can happen again. It can definitely happen again. And Snell, I mean,
can happen to him too, sadly,
Right. In a winner go home game, I want Musgrove on the mound, but you don't have to win. It's not win or go home tomorrow. I'm not saying I'm not confident in Snell. I am confident. Like Snell, I feel like he's someone that can really excel tomorrow, knowing that he doesn't have to win the game. You know that he gets in his head sometimes. He knows he doesn't have to win tonight, or excuse me, tomorrow. He does not have to. He doesn't have to be perfect. I know he's facing DeGrom, but he knows he has that insurance policy of Musgrove in game 3, and the offense just scored 7 runs off of an elite pitcher. So I think that takes pressure off of him and probably makes him relax a little bit more.
Oh yeah, big time. I mean, hopefully he can just go out, do his thing, as he's been able to do the past, I'd say, month or so. And we've seen Blake Snell in elimination games before in the playoffs. Back when he was with the Rays and got pulled by Kevin Cash, and that I'm not going to get into that, but
it was a dumb
he's pretty
decision.
dominant. Yeah, it was dumb. And he's dominant in the playoffs from what we've seen with the Rays with him. And I feel like he can ride this momentum he's kind of built up over the last part of the season, and not have that full stress load of having to be perfect, like you said. And he can just go out and pitch like he does, and I feel like that'll be a good recipe for success if the offense can, give him a little bit of support too.
Right. This episode brought to you by Gaglione Bros, famous cheesesteaks and garlic fries. GaglioneBros.com is the website. Hopefully you'll be able to have some more Gagliones at the ballpark in the NLDS. If things keep going this way, you will be able to at least one playoff game. Man, what a night tonight. Friars Road, by the way, is their main location. They're located at Snapdragon Stadium and inside Petco Park, multiple booths inside Petco. So hopefully you'll be able to enjoy that again at some point during this Padres postseason run. By the way, quick plug here, episode 243, interview with John Boggs, Tony Gwynn's agent. That is out. Did that earlier today. Talked about a lot of different things. It wasn't just the postseason. Touched on that a little bit, but what's it like to be an agent, how hectic the trade deadline and all that stuff is. So I encourage you to check that out if you have not already. You have plenty of time leading up to tomorrow's game, because tomorrow's game doesn't start till 4:37 or whatever that is. So they're going to be playing in prime time again, and I'm sure ESPN will be writing Jacob DeGrom, even though he sucked his last time out. And the Padres hopefully won't care, and they'll go win that game. I mean, this ESPN broadcast tonight, holy cow.
Oh my God.
I mean, like, I wasn't listening to the radio because I was clipping stuff and posting it on Twitter and Instagram, but I mean, Buster Olney just totally botching Trent Grisham's name. Like, he was talking to Bob Melvin. I don't know if anyone in the audience missed this, but he was talking to Bob Melvin. The clip's out on my Twitter. And he was like, oh, he said something like, how big are the home runs from Bell, Grissom? And it's like, his name is Grisham. Who is Grissom?
It's not that hard to pronounce. Like, Grish, it's kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah. So I think if you could define one moment, or if you had one moment to define ESPN's broadcast tonight, it's probably that. They just love the Mets. They weren't paying attention to the Padres. And it's like they had to go off script tonight. They were like, oh, well, we think the Mets are going to win this game. And it was like there was pain in Carl Ravage's voice saying, oh, Ha-Sung Kim double down the line, or Manny with a home run. Like he was loud or louder, but it got really, really boring. It's like they kept talking about the Mets. How are they going to turn this around? Oh, Jacob deGrom, he doesn't look phased. Okay, we get it. Can you give some love to the Padres here?
Yeah. I mean, I was thankful enough to not be able to own cable and, MLB TV with their blackout dates in the playoffs, I guess. So I was listening on the Odyssey app, listening to Jesse and Tony. So I had a little bit more happy experience.
They were much more excited, right?
Oh yeah, it was definitely a better listening experience than the ESPN Met writers. It's always going to be like that. The national TV never likes the Padres. It's always been like that. So I don't know. Jesse and Tony though, they were good. They always have been. So I'll be listening to them for the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find the home run calls from Jesse and Tony here. They retweeted like everyone who was saying, "Oh, I'm listening to 97.3 The Fan instead of ESPN because this broadcast sucks."
There was one here. It was like down the right field line. They couldn't even see it. It was like the Profar one.
Profar, yeah,
that's a good one.
So here's the Josh Bell home run call.
Game 1. And the 3-1 pitch hit in the air to deep left center field. Canna and Nimmo both going back. They are looking up. It's going to go! A 2-run homer for Josh Bell. Second of his career against Max Scherzer, and the Padres pounce.
So that's a big gonna go from Jesse. I mean, high voice. He was pumped up for that. Let me try to find the Manny homer here. Grish is up next. My bad. I can't forget Grish. Man, I'm so happy that Grish got that home run. People obviously. I mean, it's like the postseason is totally different from the regular season. Regular season, you had people DFA Grisham, release Grisham. Grisham can't be playing. And at one point in the regular season, I said, Grisham cannot be starting over Azokar right now because he sucked. Like that's just, and Azokar was hot. But once Azokar cooled down and you're going towards the end of the season, Padres clinch a postseason spot. I know I want Grisham in there over Azokar. The defense, like games like this, I didn't think it was going to be 7-1. I thought it was going to be like 2 or 3-1. But you knew that you thought at least that the defense was going to be more important and they're going to prioritize that. And a home run once in a while, that can change things drastically in the postseason. Azokar can't do that. Grisham can. That's why he's in the lineup. Here is Trent Grisham hitting that solo home run. Second inning, Padres lead 3-0 at the time. Here's Jesse's call.
Here's the 1-1 on the way. And Grisham swings, hits one in the air, deep to right field. Marte's racing back to the wall. He'll look up. It's going to go. Trent Grisham homered at Citi Field back in July. He homers at Citi Field here on October 7th. The Padres have taken Scherzer out of the yard twice in 2 innings, and they lead this game 3-0.
Citi Field was quiet. Yeah.
Not the ESPN guys that are not saying anything, and they're just like, and there's a home run. Like,
right, yeah.
Some excitement for both teams if you're going to do it. Like,
and then when it was 7-1 after Escobar homered, they kept showing Escobar. It's like the game's over. Like, why are we focusing on the Mets here? The game is over. Like, I mean, holy cow. I'm trying to find the next home run call now. Here's Manny. By the way, there's also post-game quotes coming out, so we'll talk about that too.
Switch hitter, left-handed, swings at the first pitch, hits a missile out towards the right field corner. Marte goes back, looks up, it's a home run! Just got it over the fence down the right field line. 3-run home run, Jurickson, Profar, the Padres' third of the night against Scherzer, and it's 6-0 San Diego in the fifth.
You hear the boos?
Swinging, Manny rips one to left field. Canna going back, turning around, watching it go. A line drive home run for Manny Machado. That thing got out of here like a rocket. And the fourth home run of the night for the Padres puts them in front 7-0 here in the fifth inning.
That ball got out in an absolute hurry.
Those boos were loud as heck. Holy cow! When
Yeah.
Manny hit that
When-
bomb,
Well, that too,
no, it
and
wasn't a
then when
bomb.
Max
That was
left,
just a liner. That ball was hit 111 miles an hour. His 33rd home run of the year, if you include the regular season.
yeah, that was a missile. Yeah, that was the fastest home run I think I've seen leave in a little while.
You see, I'm also scrolling up here. You see, Emma Stone was at the game, first
Emma
row,
Stone-
Padres
Yeah,
star.
they were up when in that ninth inning when we were going for the end of it.
Yeah.
They were up.
Yeah,
That was cool.
she needs to be at Petco come the division series if they make it.
The CEO of the Padres, he tweeted something like they're always welcome here, so we'll probably end up seeing her there at some point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Manny was the last one. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, here's some quotes post game, and I'll get to everyone's comments in the chat here. If you want to support the channel and make sure I get to your comment, you can use that super chat button. I appreciate that. On regular videos, you can use the super thanks button. Max Scherzer. Here's Max on his advice to his teammates as they face elimination tomorrow. Giving advice to your teammates when you just sucked it up.
You were the reason they,
Quote, just win. They've done it the whole year. Turn the page, move on, compete. We've got Jake going tomorrow, so that'll be good. It's like he knows that Jake is a lot better than him or something. You know, DeGrom, I heard this the other day. He's never had a start at Citi Field or in the postseason. He hasn't made a postseason Citi Field start. Because I remember him with the long hair and stuff. That was at Dodger Stadium. Hasn't made one. I don't know if that's true, but I mean, I can look it up right now. That was kind of surprising to me. I don't really believe that, but I did hear it. I forget where, so I apologize if I'm wrong and I just am pulling that up from nowhere. But let me see postseason. It'll be able to show me here. He's pitched in 4 postseason games. Yeah. At the Dodgers, October 9th of 2015 NLDS, Game 1. Game 5, 2015 NLDS against the Dodgers. Then the NLCS, October 20th, 2015 against the Cubs. That was at Wrigley. And then his last one was in the World Series, Game 2. That was in Kansas City. So
they don't field. I forgot.
Yeah, so he's done well. 7 innings, no runs. 6 innings, 2 runs. 7 innings, 2 runs. 5 innings, 4 runs against Hosmer and the Royals there. So he'll be tough. I mean, it's Jacob DeGrom, but I thought that was weird. His first Citi Field home start. Scherzer got booed off the mound, by the way, by Mets fans. They are panicking. They are freaking panicking. Holy cow.
100+ wins and you're close to elimination on the wild card?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see those ESPN writers? They predicted 27 out of 31 of them predicted the Mets to win this series. And Jake Peavy and I think Lauren Gardner were the only MLB Network people to pick the Padres. And Lauren Gardner was doing it just because just to go against the grain and not be chalk. Like
Peavy was a Padre.
Peavy was like, oh yeah, and so like no one's picking the Padres, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, you act like these guys are the Orioles or like the Pirates that they're playing. The Orioles were good this year, but you were acting like these are like the Pirates or the Nationals. Like, yeah, DeGrom and Scherzer, this team won over 100 games. They didn't lose the division. The Braves won it. It doesn't matter. The Padres pitching staff, even if they didn't lose it, which I believe they did, they got swept by the Cubs and then crapped their pants against the Braves when in the biggest moments, in that division. So last weekend. So I think they lost it. But even if they didn't, you're facing a Padres team that has Manny, Soto, and guys throughout this lineup that are playing a lot better. And you have Yu Darvish just won September Player of the Month. Blake Snell, has been amazing. I have a stat. There it is. 1 earned run in his last 18 innings. You have Musgrove lined up for Game 3. 1 earned run in his last 22 innings. You have Josh Hader at the back of the bullpen. No earned runs in his last 10 games. Robert Suarez got in tonight. No earned runs since August 29th. Nick Martinez, an ERA under 270 as a reliever. Manaea, 1 earned run in his last 10 innings. Kleb didn't make the roster, so I'm not going to read that. But, 12th best, worst postseason staff entering the postseason according to MLB.com. Yeah, well, how'd that work out tonight, huh? I mean, a staff that has Darvish, Snell, Musgrove, and Hader, just them, should not be last.
Should not be last. No, that's ridiculous.
How about the Cardinals staff tonight? How are they looking? Ryan Helsley?
Well,
Hmm.
Ryan Helsley couldn't find the zone for his life.
Hells Bells should not be used
Yeah,
by that guy ever again. That is
never.
not what Trevor Hoffman would do. Just saying.
it's a disgrace to the song of relievers right there.
Yeah, Bob Melvin here says, quote, "We're getting pretty spoiled. It was a typical Yu Darvish game where he goes 7 innings, throws about 100 pitches, doesn't give up much, gets out of jams when he needs to, and invents pitches along the way." I mean, that's kind of what it felt like. I mean, that curveball was just nasty.
Oh, yeah.
Nola says, "Darvish had a gutsy 7th inning. He made good pitches, continued on, made even more good pitches. I thought that was the highlight of the game for you." And he, ESPN kept like fixating on Darvish potentially being injured with his leg and stuff. He looked like he was fine to me after that one pitch that he threw. Was it to Escobar? I forget who it was too, but he looked fine. I'm not worried about Darvish or anything like that. Nola again here, quote, "Once he got into his groove, he was mixing all of his pitches, moving the ball in and out, using his breaking balls and fastballs. He was keeping them off balance for sure. We played really well defensively, offensively, and we pitched really well. It feels good. It's a good club over there. We still have business to take care of for sure." I agree. Played well defensively. I don't think they had any errors. Offensively, obviously scoring 7 runs off of Scherzer in, 5 innings? Scherzer didn't even complete 5 innings, I don't think.
No, just like 4 and a third, 4 and 2/3.
Yeah, an amazing night. You had Mets fans leaving early. I mean, where are you guys going?
It emptied so fast. I was hearing from Jesse and Tony. And then I turned on some stream on YouTube, and you could see the stands. You could see more chairs than fans, I thought. And that was a sellout crowd today. It was insane.
Yep. I guess they had to go somewhere. I don't know, maybe just go home and cry. I have no idea.
Go support the Yankees now or something. I don't know.
That doesn't happen there, but I mean, yeah. Looking forward to the basketball season or looking forward to the Jets. I don't know. Look, it's not over for them. It's not over for them. I don't want to, gloat too much because I know that Padres could still lose this series, but I'm just so happy that the Padres just blew them out tonight because of all the talk about the Mets. No one was talking about the Padres, and everyone's picking the Mets to win this series. And Mets, Dodgers, looking forward to that. And you had Buck Showalter hoping not to even pitch DeGrom in this series. And it bit him in the butt, at least tonight. I mean, they probably wouldn't have won this game anyway if DeGrom had pitched. What if DeGrom goes 6-7 innings, he gives up 2 runs? Well, the Mets scored 1 run.
They only scored 1, yeah.
Darvish was amazing. Suarez and Garcia didn't give up any runs. So maybe it was the right choice for DeGrom to go game 2 instead of game 1. We'll find out, I guess, tomorrow to see if he can force it to a game 3. But, I mean, it didn't work out tonight. Scherzer game 1. The Padres are very comfortable against Max Scherzer. That's the bottom line. That's what it is right now. Manny owns Max Scherzer. The Padres own Max Scherzer right now.
Yeah. Shout out Daniel Camarena real quick. Just want to throw him out there.
Where is he?
Mention. He's not even in baseball anymore.
He's DFA'd, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was there in spirit tonight. I felt on all 4 of those home runs. That was 4 for the amount of RBIs he had on one swing versus Max Scherzer back in the day. Just want to give a quick shout out to him.
Maybe should Mud be like do another long shot thing where, how coming back in that game was a long shot. So he said, "I'll walk from Alpine to Petco," and he actually ended up having to do it. What if
do something like that?
What if he says if the Padres should it be win a World Series or should they get if the Padres get to the World Series?
Yeah.
If they get there, he should. I don't know what should he do. I have no idea what he should do. But
I don't know. I feel like he should like have something where he like
catch a spring training game. Catch a full spring training game. Full and have Don commentate it. I know he wants to. Doesn't he want to umpire? He wants to umpire it, right?
Doesn't
he want to umpire? Yeah. Umpire a full spring training game next year. with Don commentating on how crappy your calls are. That would be must-watch television. So if the Padres make the World Series, Mud, if you're listening to this, I doubt you are, but make that your long shot bet this year. I mean, I know. Look, we're overreacting. I'm overreacting to this one game. I realize that, and this could come. Someone might screen record this, and
You're gonna
it
post
come
it on
back
us.
and bite me. Whatever.
What
But
happened?
I'm just, yeah. But I'm just pumped up. Like, they don't have to win tomorrow. And with Musgrove on the mound, Game 3, if that goes to Game 3, I'm more confident in Musgrove than Chris Bassett, who wasn't good against the Braves last weekend either. Musgrove just threw 6 shutout innings in his last start.
Yeah, and even with Musgrove's kind of second half, if you would call it, like, really second half struggles a little bit, I'm still more confident in him just due to the simple fact that he was a Cy Young candidate throughout the majority of the year against
Right.
a guy who's, how old is Chris Bassett? 34, 30, something
Yeah,
like
let me
that.
check.
And he's struggling in this later half of the year.
33.
Yeah, there you go. He's getting up there in age, and I feel, we just beat up on another kind of old pitcher, Max Scherzer.
Right.
I'm just saying, maybe we have a thing against old Mets pitchers. Well, we'll have to find out or something, but I hope it doesn't even get to that point where we can just beat them in Game 2.
Right, yeah. Marco says, great win, but job is not done. We have to take the series. I agree. Yeah, I know the job's not done. I'm just confident in this team, really confident in this team right now. Brian Perez is a Dodgers fan, so he can get kicked out.
Can we talk about how he said Dodgers in 3? He really thinks we would get swept. I don't know.
Well,
I
look,
feel like we would end up getting 1.
the Dodgers have owned the Padres, so I'm not gonna be like, oh, you're a dummy for thinking that. But
I don't know.
I'm expecting, if they do get to the division series, I'm expecting very competitive games
That's
against
the
the
thing.
Dodgers.
It's playoff baseball. It's completely different, I feel. But
With the Dodgers,
then again, we did. Yeah.
Dodgers had the time off. I mean, look at 2019. Didn't they win over 100 games and they lost in the division series to the Nationals?
There you go.
I mean, come on.
Doesn't
JD says Eduardo Perez from ESPN sucks as a play-by-play announcer. Padres don't get no love from ESPN. Yeah. I mean, they did get love, but it was forcefully. They had to do it. It was clear that they were focused on the Mets. They were focused on them. The camera kept going to DeGrom. I know that's the storyline. DeGrom has to save their season tomorrow. So does their offense. Their offense scored 1 run tonight. We have Blake Snell on the mound tomorrow, and we have a really good bullpen. Aldego says Emma Stone's husband is the fan. Well, she was wearing Padres stuff too.
Yeah.
And I think she's the more famous person.
Who
is Dave McCary? I've never heard of the guy. So have you heard of him? Who is that?
I haven't. When I saw that they posted
a comedian,
Emma and
okay.
Dave, I was
he was born in San Diego, went to USC. Okay. He's from 2013, 2019, served as a segment director for Saturday Night Live.
Oh, that's okay. That's a pretty good one. I want to get one of those jackets that Emma Stone had, though. That's a nice one.
I know. Yeah.
I want to get one of those.
Yeah, I know. JD says Harold Reynolds from Major League Baseball, give him props. What? Give Harold props for what? Is he talking good about the Padres? I mean, you have to. They played tremendously well tonight. This is the best that they probably could have played. I mean, you could single out guys, Soto, Crony. You could talk about different guys, but they scored 7 runs off of Scherzer. The game was over in the 5th inning.
Yeah.
The Mets fans were leaving the game before it was the 7th inning.
That's crazy. The Padres did that to the New York Mets.
Yeah. Mr. Robot says, big win tonight, Ben. We can beat these Mets. Huge night tonight for Darvish and our offense. Bubs downtown was going off. That's kind of one of those things, if I wasn't clipping highlights and stuff, being down at Bubs or somewhere like that would be cool. Going down there with family or something during a game, that would be cool. I'm sure they were. Yeah. I saw some videos. I think San Diego Sports 760, their account was posting some stuff because they were doing a live show in North Park tonight, and they were actually broadcasting their last hour was during the Padres game, so people were going nuts in there. So yeah, I'm sure that's what it looked like in a lot of places.
Oh yeah, even down here, I went out with for a couple innings, went down to a little pizza spot here in IB, and there were Padre fans rocking down there, and it's just a little like local spot. Luigi's right on the beach right there, and that place was packed. I mean, people had drinks going, and they only had one TV, but I mean, everyone in their Padres jerseys, it felt like this was a once in a lifetime opportunity. Everyone was just super happy, and you know, when people left, they'd be like, no, don't leave, because then if they suck, then you got to come back, you know?
Right. Yeah. Marty Caswell says here, Darvish was asked today if today's performance was redemption for his 2017 playoff struggles when I believe he was with the Dodgers, and I think he pitched Game 7, didn't pitch well against the Astros, Dodger Stadium. And he says, quote, actually, I don't remember it. It's a long time ago. Doesn't remember pitching for the Dodgers. That's a legendary quote. That's a legendary quote. Just flushing it and just, I'm an amazing pitcher right now. That's what I care about. I'm with the Padres. There we go. All right.
There you go, man.
Padres just tweeted this out. Second game with 4 or more home runs in Padres postseason history. When was that first game? It doesn't say here. I'm just trying to remember what the first game was. Oh, the wild card game. Duh. 2020. Tatis homered twice. Myers homered twice. There you go. Yeah. All right. I got some knowledge still in my head from 2020. I try to make it. I try to forget about that year, like it didn't happen, because it's not a real season. It's not. Those were some memories, like they were fun memories, but it's not a real season. Dodger fans can be happy about their World Series ring that they didn't get to celebrate because there was no parade, but it wasn't a real season. They're going to have to do it again. If they do it again, then yeah, of course they can talk.
Yeah,
but they're going to have to do it again. I think this is a little getting ahead of us here. It says, I can't wait to see Dodgers versus Padres. Look, that I did allude to that earlier in the episode, and look, I was getting ahead of myself too. They still have to face DeGrom tomorrow, but they don't have to beat him. I think that's a positive. They do still have to win a Game 3, though, if they don't win tomorrow. Obviously, they're trying to win tomorrow. Imagine you beat Scherzer, DeGrom Games 1 and 2, and you go to the Dodgers series with Musgrove Game 1. You didn't have to use Musgrove. Like, that would be amazing.
That would be awesome.
But there's still tons of work, obviously, to do in this series. The Padres, they're not going to be celebrating, pouring champagne after tonight.
No.
There's going to be a lot of smiles, and they're going to be loose. They don't have the pressure on them. Entering the series, they didn't have the pressure on them nationwide. I put pressure on them because I thought that they should win a series. Like, it's not a successful season with all this talent. I don't care who you're playing. If you don't win a wild card series, I don't think that's a successful year. So they could still not win the wild card series, and it would be, I think, even more of a appointment, to be honest.
Win one game.
Because after not just won, they blew out the Mets. They embarrassed Scherzer tonight. His worst postseason start ever. And if they can't finish it off, that's going to be really disappointing. So there's a lot of work to be done. Yeah, it would be amazing to see Dodgers Padres, obviously at Petco Game 3, at least one game at Petco, but let's focus on the Mets still here. You said there was another comment you wanted to get to?
Yeah, just this one comment by Pass the Buck Owen. He talked about that Profar Kim the shush celebration.
Oh yeah. Profar Kim shush. Yeah. Yeah, they've been doing that.
Coldest thing.
Yeah, they've been doing that all year. Isn't that from what is that from? It's from a movie, right?
Yeah, it's something that I think it might have been like it's something like show or movie or something, but when they see it on national TV and they had the camera right there.
Rush Hour, is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
But it just looks so sick.
People were like, who obviously don't watch the Padres, they were like, oh, they're shushing the Mets, they're shushing the crowd. No, that's their celebration. They've been doing that.
Yeah.
Like maybe their celebration is to shush the doubters and stuff. So I guess
maybe now.
Say that,
there you go.
But they've been doing that this year. This isn't the first time.
No.
Mr. Robot here says, can you imagine how bad the New York sports media is going to rip into the Mets tomorrow. They're brutal, and that helps our mojo. We got the juice this series. I agree. We have the momentum. Look, the pressure's not on us tomorrow. It's all on the shoulders of Jacob deGrom. It's on the shoulders of that offense to score more than one run. The good thing maybe the Mets, they're not going to be listening to it. They're going to be worried about winning tomorrow's game. But the good thing for them is, unless they have special shows, tomorrow's Saturday. So you're not going to have all the big talking heads on WFAN and 98.7 ESPN New York.
Yeah.
They're not working. So you're not going to hear too much about that tomorrow, I wouldn't think. I mean, the weekend people, you'll hear it. But it's going to be on Monday. Like, trust me, if they lose in a wild card series after winning 100 games, especially if DeGrom and Scherzer don't show up, it's going to be brutal. It's going to be funny as heck to listen to that. Scherzer, here's another quote from him. Quote, baseball can take you to the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. And this is one of the lows. Yeah. Yep, it is. And I'm happy that you're not on the Padres for that. Remember when we were so happy that we were about to get Scherzer last year?
Oh, I remember the exact time and place. I mean, we were about to start a podcast right then and there to get our reaction. And Mr. Ken Rosenthal kind of, lack of terms, blue-balled us and didn't want to, report the full thing in the official. But dodged the bullet there, it seemed like.
Yeah. I was talking with John Boggs. He's an MLB agent. He's Pierce Johnson's agent. Other guys as well. He used to be Agon's agent, Tony Gwynn Jr.'s agent, Dave Roberts. And I was just talking, I mentioned that about, the media leaking things, trades and stuff. And he's like, yeah, you can kind of read the tea leaves and you know what is what and why something is out there and who it's benefiting. And in that situation, it was definitely benefiting the Nationals. Hey, let's get this out there. Let's get the Dodgers to increase that offer. And then the Nationals, obviously, they trade Soto and they trade Turner with Scherzer there in that year. And now they absolutely suck. And I'm wishing the best for Gore and all them, but they absolutely suck right now. But enough with the Nationals. Pass the buck, Owen says here. Who pitches a potential Game 3 for New York? Chris Bassett. DeGrom's going tomorrow. They have to win Game 2 tomorrow at 4:37 on ESPN.
Yep.
Another primetime game. They got to win that one. If they don't, their season's over. They're not going to wait DeGrom for Game 3 and pitch Chris Bassett. Like, if they're going to lose, they're going to lose with Scherzer and DeGrom. They paid Scherzer $40+ million this year, and that's what he comes up with in the postseason.
I'm okay with that. If they want to do that, I'm perfectly fine with that.
They gave him like $43 million for 3 years, and he gives up 7 earned runs in a postseason start against the 10th best postseason offense entering this postseason, according to MLB.com. Like, yikes.
Crazy. Put up 7, by the way.
Yeah.
It's your ace. Yeah. Or one of them, at least.
David asks, what Snell do you think we get tomorrow? I think we get a relaxed Snell. I think.
Yeah. No pressure.
I don't anticipate. Maybe he does have a meltdown inning, but I don't anticipate there being one because he doesn't have all the pressure on him. And even when he does, like that World Series game against the Dodgers, he performed on those expectations. He had the pressure on him there, keep his team alive. He kept his team alive. Kevin Cash just sent it right down the garbage can and said, you know what? Screw your performance. We're going to bring in a guy that's been overused this postseason and just tank this. You've just owned Mookie and Muncy and everyone in the top of the order. No, we'll take you out. Like, Snell performed. So I'm expecting a loose, confident Snell tomorrow. And the best case scenario, obviously, is he pitches really well. The offense shows up, and you have Musgrove Game 1 against the Dodgers in the NLDS.
That'd be perfect.
Look, I don't want to mention the NLDS. Continue to do that because that's jumping ahead. But that's what the scenario would be if Snell does pitch really well tomorrow and the offense shows up a little bit. I mean, Jacob deGrom, he gave up 3 home runs in his last appearance. If they can attack that fastball like they attacked Max Scherzer tonight, they can win tomorrow still.
Yeah, and I'm excited for it because I don't remember the last time we were in a NLDS in a real year. We were in one in 2020, but it was our ace was Mike Clevenger. He went 1 inning, right? And then the next inning, his velocity decreased crazy, so he was
Yep.
out.
Yep.
Lamet was our number 2, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. Well, Lamet was out. Davies was
Lamet,
pitching.
that's all.
They
Davies.
didn't have enough confidence in Paddock. They didn't put him out there. They put it was a
Was it Craig
bullpen game,
Stammen?
right? Stammen
Yeah,
was
Craig.
game 3 of the wild card. Like, they had no pitching. And
Ryan
that's another
Weathers
thing.
made his debut.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, you're right. That's another
That's
thing
crazy.
where it's like this year and 2020, you cannot compare it. If anyone wants to say, "Oh, well, look at 2020," it's not a real season. They didn't have Darvish, Snell, and Musgrove pitching really well. They didn't have Josh Hader in the bullpen. They didn't have Soto on their team. They didn't have Josh Bell on their team. They had a whole different team.
Yeah.
You know, so
Tommy
this
Pham.
it's totally different. It is totally, and that's part of the reason why I was so surprised why everyone was like Mets, 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 Mets. The series isn't over. They could still be right, but they were acting. It felt to
Like
me
it's
at
gonna be
least
1-2,
nationally like it's
yeah.
going to be 2-0, 2-0 sweep, and they're moving on to the Dodgers. Like
Mhm.
not so fast. This Padres team is very, very talented.
Yeah, big time, man. I mean, we've been overlooked the entire year, I feel. You know, sometimes we put that on ourselves. You know, but I feel like going into this, we had a lot that we had proved. I mean, we hung on to a wild card in the second half of the year. You know, we didn't do that in 2021. You know, we were able to have a pitching staff that looked good throughout the whole year and it was
Right.
healthy. And we actually had a bullpen that didn't have, you know, one set closer who was the only good part. You know, normally we would have like a one good closer. This time I felt like we had a closer by committee kind of thing, and everyone was kind of good. You know,
Right.
I mean, Hader obviously showed up towards the end of the year there, but you know, for a while there, we just had to rely on a lot of different people, and I feel like that kind of helped us in the long run.
Mhm.
So it was surprising how we were overlooked so much, but then again, we are San Diego, so
Yeah.
can't really
Yep.
say anything there.
All right, closing this episode out here. Same lineup tomorrow. About the same lineup. I mean, it worked today. Like, I like
Why
that
not?
there was a lot of balance in it. You know, I probably was thinking Grisham was going to hit 9th, but I think it was Jeffrey here in the comments during the pregame show or the episode yesterday when I was talking about the lineup and guessing it. He was talking about how, well, there's a lot of consecutive righties in that lineup if Grisham's hitting
Yeah,
9th.
you got to
And
break it up.
Grisham hit 8th today and Nola 9th, and it worked. You had Josh
Yeah.
Bell in front of Myers. I flipped those, but Bomel had Bell in front of him. I don't think that Myers and Bell play together tomorrow. I probably think Drury gets in there.
I think
I don't
you got
maybe
it. Yeah.
maybe over Myers. Maybe Drury plays first. Myers, I don't think he had a great night tonight. I know he struck out, I think, twice.
I think he's a good pinch hit option though. If someone's not batting well, I think you throw him
Right.
in there later in the game. Yeah.
Right. And with Josh Bell homering tonight, like I would.
Yeah, you got to play
like,
him.
Yeah, like I would have thought if Bell didn't do anything tonight, maybe they go Myers and Drury, and you have Bell as a pinch hitter, switch hitter,
Yeah.
can do anything. But like tomorrow, they'd have let's say Drury and Bell are in there. You have Myers on the bench. You have Campy, Alfaro. Those are righties.
Yeah.
Dixon, I mean, he's a pinch runner. You do have options. I don't think that it's necessary that they need to have like multiple lefties on that bench. That's just not what their bench composition is made up of, you know? So
No, and we don't need that because it's, you know, we don't have to pinch hit for a pitcher. So they're
Right,
just throw them in there
right.
now, you know? Yeah.
Right, and I'm starting Grish. I mean, the lineup, it's probably going to be Profar, Soto, Manny. If you want, DeGrom's a righty, so you want to have another left. You want Bell in there again, and then maybe Drury, Cronenworth.
Mhm.
Maybe you slide him down a little bit, and then same last 3: Kim, Grisham, Nola.
English. Yep,
You
I
don't
like that.
move them. You keep them down
No.
there. They combined for 4 hits tonight,
yeah.
really well. 3 runs scored. I mean, you keep them down there. They had a lot of depth in this lineup, and I think that's very, very encouraging. And yeah, what a night. Any last comments?
No, hopefully we can just get this win so I don't have to stress a game 3. But looks impressive tonight.
Tomorrow
Very happy
is
watching the game.
tomorrow is going to be wild if they beat DeGrom,
Yeah.
Scherzer, and DeGrom, and then you have Musgrove. Whoa, man, that is
We'll
going
throw
to
a parade
be.
downtown right after, okay?
Yeah, people are gonna be posting Oh, look at this parade downtown, and the Dodger fans are gonna actually believe
gonna
that
go
this is actually
crazy.
happening right now.
Yeah.
Like they always do. They always fall for that. All right. This was fun. I'll be reacting after every game as usual. Tomorrow, I think I'm filling in for John Schaefer on the wrap-up show, so I'll do that. And then if Jacob's available, we'll do it again after the wrap-up show, so it'll probably be later tomorrow.
There you go.
But that'll be episode 245. This one's 244. Talking Friars podcast and YouTube show. What's a shore? YouTube show. Brought to you by Gaglione Bros, famous cheesesteaks and garlic fries. Again, gaglionebros.com is the website. What a win tonight. Padres, one win away from advancing to the NLDS to face the Dodgers. 4:37 is the first pitch tomorrow on ESPN. I'll have the pregame show before that here on YouTube. I'll see you guys later. For Jacob Zimmerman, Ben Fadden, go Pods.